Westeros remembers him as the greatest king to ever sit the Iron Throne. Jaehaerys I Targaryen, the Old King. He gave the realm 50 years of unbroken peace and prosperity. But that peace was a mirage. To build his golden age, Jaehaerys had to navigate a political minefield littered with the bodies of his rivals, practice aggressive blood magic, and silence those who knew his darkest secrets. In the next 4 minutes, you will discover the terrifying true cost of the most peaceful reign in fantasy history, and why the old king's legacy might be the most deceptive of them all. Jaehaerys was born into chaos. The son of the weak Aenys I and Queen Alice Velaryon, he grew up in the shadow of his tyrannical uncle, Maegor the Cruel. He claimed Vermithor, a bronze and tan beast that would grow to be one of the largest and most powerful dragons ever seen. But when Jaehaerys took the throne as a young man, he chose a different path. While Maegor ruled with raw dragon fire, Jaehaerys understood the power of law. He codified Westerosi legal systems and created the Great Code, the realm's first unified law book. He connected the kingdoms through the massive infrastructure project known as the Kingsroad, making travel safer and trade possible between once isolated regions. But his greatest challenge didn't happen on a battlefield. It happened in the Sept. The Faith Militant Uprising, a massive religious rebellion against Targaryen incest, was tearing the realm apart. With his wise advisor, Septon Barth, Jaehaerys engineered the doctrine of exceptionalism. It was a masterpiece of political and theological manipulation, convincing the faith that while incest was a sin for men, Targaryens as dragon lords were exceptional. Jaehaerys didn't rule alone. He had his sister wife, good Queen Alysanne. Her gentle nature and political wit were as vital as his laws. She convinced him to abolish the horrific First Night custom, giving women more protection across the 7 kingdoms. But their private life was a series of devastating losses. As the Red Keep was finally finished under his supervision, ensure it was filled with secret passages and hidden chambers that only he knew about. The Golden Age was built on shadows. They had many children, but few survived into adulthood. The losses of their eldest children, Prince Aemon and Prince Balon, were the hardest. They weren't just losing their children. They were losing their legacy, replaced by the instability that would eventually tear the realm apart. That's when everything changed. Jaehaerys, in his desperation to maintain the peace, took steps that inadvertently set the stage for the catastrophic civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons. The Great Council of 101 AC, the decision that favored a male heir over a female one, established the very precedent that would divide his family and lead to the very horror he spent his life avoiding. In his final years, Jaehaerys was a shell of his former self. His mind began to unravel. He knew the prophecy, Aegon's dream, the Song of Ice and Fire. He knew the threat was coming from the north. So he turned to comfort in his final days. It led to the downfall of his carefully constructed peace. He was succeeded by his grandson Viserys I, a peaceful man but a fundamentally weak one, who would watch helplessly as the fractures Jaehaerys ignored tore the Targaryen dynasty apart. By the time the civil war began, the old king's legacy was already dead. The peace he fought so hard to build was no longer an asset. It was just a memory, and it led directly to unmitigated destruction. Jaehaerys I Targaryen didn't just create a golden age. He inadvertently created the very crucible that would consume his entire family.